you're interested in building bridges with individuals from diverse faiths, where do you start? What are helpful tips when reaching out to faith leaders from various belief systems? How do you go about assessing potential community needs?
So we started with a faith committee, and it had one staff person as the liaison, trying to coordinate the different goals and stepping stones that the committee came up with. And we realized that we just did not have the capacity to do the things that we really wanted to do. And we needed to increase the number of staff. Being a nonprofit, there's not a lot of extra money around to create new positions and get them funded. Habitat for Humanity International offers a capacity building grant. It's a 3-year grant that is funded through HUD, and then those funds flow through at Habitat International. So we applied, we got the 3-year grant, and we created the Faith in Action Program Manager. We did a huge search to find the right person, and our initial Faith in Action Program Manager is a phenomenal young man. And then we hired Chloe Henry, who is our current Faith in Action Program Manager, who put wings on her shoes and took off flying and figured out how to open up even more doors and created a very strong, not only faith committee, but she created subcommittees. So we have the Apostles Build, which is focused on Christian denominations coming together, the Interfaith Build, which brings a variety of people's ideologies and faiths together, and then our Global Village through Habitat International as far as how are we going to do work to build homes to address disaster response outside of the country. She split all that up from one committee, and she's running it. And she found very strong board members and community leaders to make this work. And each of the committee members that are on these 3 committees, they have connections throughout not only the city, but throughout the state, and in some places the country, to pull together resources and ideas and to help us to understand better the cultures that we are working with so that we don't, inadvertently, you're going to make mistakes. Just know that. We don't know 100% of somebody else's religion, of what is proper behavior. Do you shake hands? Do you not shake hands? Do you look at somebody directly in the eyes? You do not with people who are indigenous. That could be seen as rude. So Chloe took it upon herself, as did committee members, to delve in and work with not only researching on their own, but to speak to those who are from these committees and communities to learn about what are the proper ways so that we provide a warm and genuine welcome.
I think the excitement that I had to participate in the Interfaith Build was more to be able to participate in something that was essentially unprecedented. This was a brand new thing that Habitat was doing. It was being inclusive of all faiths. And for the Pikes Peak region, it was an opportunity to be able to put the Muslim community on the map for other faith communities to get to know the Muslims more and learn more about Islam and who we are.
I was excited about the potential because we had already founded the Pikes Peak Interfaith Coalition, and not that long before, maybe a year before, and it also gave us an avenue to pursue those relationships in a very active way, where we're actually not just talking and conceptualizing, but actually physically doing something to make the world a better place.
I was excited about helping my local community. I was helping, how low-income families can be able to benefit from the good deeds of the Habitat for Humanity, working for the common cause, making a difference in the life of others, and also to be a blessing to others, because it's not only doing good, giving back to the community, but also doing good for humanity.
So as Sunrise considered participating in the Interfaith Build, we were excited. We had been involved with Habitat for a long time and had partnered with a lot of other churches along the way. So the idea of being able to expand that to relationships across religions was just really appealing, and we were excited to do it.
I don't think I was really nervous. I think the only concern I really had was getting people to participate from our community, because this was so new to the Muslim community, that I think the biggest concern was getting people to participate in the build itself. But I think my excitement was more than being nervous. I just wanted to be able to participate on any level possible.
I was nervous about how people would react to my Islamic faith and culture background. I am a first-generation immigrant from Egypt. It's not an easy task to be a first-generation immigrant. I was nervous about how people would react to my culture and religious background.
The one thing that we paid attention to as Sunrise joined the Interfaith Build is to make sure that we weren't one of several Christian communities that joined and kind of overwhelmed the value of having it be an interfaith experience.
Well, initially, it was a huge amount of folks wanting to get involved, and a huge motivational kind of situation where everybody wanted to come and wield a hammer. I think after the first couple of times of people wielding a hammer and digging ditches, people realized there's a lot of physical labor involved. But I do think the desire to participate is still there.
I think first and foremost, you need to have an open mind. Go into the project with an open mind of meeting people from a new faith tradition. These are waters that you're going to test. Either you've been in the interfaith arena for many years and you are experienced, or you are new to the project and you are learning and meeting people from a faith tradition you've never met before. So going in with an open mind is very important. Being able to dissipate any misconceptions or misunderstandings that you may have about the faith is very important. You have to be able to have a clean slate, because you will understand the Islamic religion from the Muslims themselves, and you'll be able to learn from the Muslims themselves and not go in with the information that you had from mainstream media.
Being open-minded and embracing diversity and inclusion in the community, accepting the other, and learning from our differences. We don't have to agree, but we have to respect one another for the common good and common cause.
Sitting down and having coffee and just a very casual kind of initial conversation is the best way to go. I really think what this is all about, in my mind, is as we come from our faith traditions, we also want to develop personal relationships. And I think that goes a long way towards getting organizations involved. It's just where you develop those one-to-one interpersonal relationships, and then it kind of organically expands from there.
That personal touch, I think, is really, really important. It's easy to put it in a bulletin or in a flyer, but when you call someone personally and you say, this is what we're doing, and I'm excited, and I would love to have you join us, I think people are much more likely to respond to a personal invitation, and not even an email or a text, but hi.
you have to have somebody who can really be responsible for the program. Volunteers are phenomenal. We can't do our work without them. But many of them are either retirees and they like to travel some, or they're working full-time or at least part-time and trying to land the big job or moving up in their career. So you need somebody who's focused on what they're doing for whatever your goal is. But that focus also has to include being aware that we see things from our own personal lens. And though we try to clean our lens and see with a bright light and a clear screen, that doesn't always happen. And we need to be listening and respectful and willing to learn and step outside our own comfort zones to get to know our neighbors.
So when we do get these different groups that maybe it's their first time out on the construction site, it's not just our staff, but our core volunteers that are helping to lead them and teach them something new and help build permanent affordable housing for families in El Paso County. And also it helps us to just build strength, stability, and self-reliance in our community. And that is what Interfaith Build for Unity is trying to do, not only just to get houses built, but also bringing together different groups in our community to help build a better understanding of who is represented in this area.
We are not isolated beings outside of everybody else, but we are interwoven with everyone and everything. As we grow our wisdom, we increase our compassion